The episode begins with Peor, also referred to as Pim and Lada, at a restaurant with her friends. Peor's friend observes that she is not enjoying her meal and suggests she is jealous because she ran into that brat. Peor has been frustrated ever since she saw her ex, Ern, with that actress, Engfah. Peor denies being jealous, but her friend insists her actions speak for themselves. Tan, another friend, tells Peor's friend not to talk that way, reminding her that Peor used to feel for Ern. Peor dismisses the idea that she cares about Ern's business, and her friends then try to change the topic to enjoy their free meal. I love this opening because Peor's friends are basically us, the audience. They can see right through her. Notice how vehemently she denies being jealous. The more she denies it, the more we know it's true. This isn't just a casual denial, it's a defense mechanism. She's not trying to convince her friends, she's desperately trying to convince herself that she's still in control of her emotions. But the jealousy has already cracked the armor she spent the last 7 years building. Meanwhile, Ern and Angfa are seen exercising at the gym. After their workout, Engfah wipes Ern's sweat with a towel. Susie, who is also there, takes some photos of them. When Ern and Angfa are in the restroom, Ern asks Engfah if she likes women. Engfah confirms that she does. Upon hearing this, Ern seems to understand that she might be in trouble and tries to leave to protect herself. However, Engfah approaches Ern and reveals she has a crush on her, moving in for a kiss before the scene cuts. Dramatic irony and WL perspective. This scene is pure dramatic irony. We, the viewers, get the full context that Peor didn't. We see Ern's discomfort. Her question, "Do you like women?" isn't flirtatious. It's a classic queer, let me assess the situation moment. She's sensing the vibe and trying to figure out what's happening. The moment Engfah confirms it and moves in for the kiss, we see Ern's panic. She's not a willing participant, she's trapped. This is so important because it proves Peor's jealousy is based on a complete misunderstanding, making the whole situation even more angsty and tragic. Back with Peor, she is seen thinking about Ern, which prevents her from focusing on her studies. To relieve her stress, she goes swimming. Later, at the hospital, Peor looks at herself in the mirror, telling herself that everything is okay. This suggests she's trying to control her emotions and remove Ern from her mind, repeating phrases like, "I'm fine." Rose then arrives and informs Peor that a patient is here. Peor asks them to come in. This mirror scene is so powerful. This is Peor literally trying to rebuild her defenses. The pep talk isn't for confidence, it's an attempted self-hypnosis. She's trying to force herself back into the cold, professional, Dr. Falada persona that she thinks can't be hurt. It's a visual representation of her internal war, the logical mind telling her to be fine versus the jealous heart that's in chaos. The swimming, the studying, it's all her trying to distract herself from the one thought she can't escape, Ern. The patient is Ern, who has come to meet Peor. The moment Peor sees Ern, her confidence drops and she mutters, "Not okay," indicating that her composure has been broken. Rose, noticing Peor talking to herself, asks if everything is all right. Peor asks Rose to wait outside, stating she will handle this patient herself. Rose leaves the room but tries to listen to their conversation from outside, though she cannot hear anything. She decides to seek help from Dr. Bao and Dr. Tan. And there it is, the immediate payoff. Her mantra of "I'm fine" is shattered in a single second. Her quiet, defeated, "not okay" is an admission to herself that all her efforts are useless. The problem she was trying to run from has just walked directly into her office, the one place she is supposed to be in complete control. And, of course, Nurse Roz, our favorite pot stirrer, immediately knows something is up and runs to get the friends. The stage is perfectly set for a major confrontation. Ern offers Peor a banoffee pie she brought for her. Peor reacts by taking the pie and throwing it into a dustbin. Ern asks if Peor no longer likes banoffee pie. Peor tells her she stopped liking it 2 years ago and asks Ern to leave. Ern seems hurt, but smiles and tells Peor that even if Peor doesn't want to see her, she will keep coming to see her every day. Peor responds that it's Ern's problem, and Peor's problem is to figure out how to get Ern out of her life. Ern still refuses to leave. Symbolism and psychological warfare. Let's talk about the pie. This is a direct callback to the lunchbox incident in the last episode. Throwing away food that Ern brings is now Peor's signature move. It's not just a rejection, it's a ritual of rejection. It's her way of saying, your care is trash to me. But Ern's reaction is what's so telling. She's hurt, but she smiles because she's starting to understand the playbook. She knows this isn't indifference. This is active, painful pushing, which means Peor is deeply affected. Peor then declares that she is in love with someone else and will be marrying that person soon, implying Ern has no chance. Ern asks if she's talking about Dr. Wisnu. Peor is surprised and asks how Ern knows. Ern replies that she saw Wisnu's interview on television and claims that Peor doesn't like him, pointing out that he's still trying to win her over, suggesting Peor's lying. Ern gazes lovingly at Peor while discussing Wisnu. Peor challenges Ern to see if she can kiss a man, implying she would kiss Wisnu to prove it. This is a massive escalation. Peor has moved from throwing things to throwing lies. The "I'm marrying someone else" is the nuclear option. It's the biggest, most hurtful lie she can think of to create permanent distance. But Ern doesn't even flinch. She calls her bluff immediately. This proves Ern knows Peor better than anyone. She knows her heart, and she knows that this desperate lie is just a symptom of the jealousy she saw at the end of the last episode. It's a pathetic defense, and Ern sees right through it. At this moment, Wisnu calls Peor. Peor speaks sweetly to him, saying she was just thinking of him and misses him. Ern gets angry seeing Peor flirt with Wisnu and snatches the phone from Peor, ending the call. Ern becomes very emotional seeing Peor's emotionless expression and starts to leave. Peor uses this opportunity to fake an urgent case call, telling Wisnu they can't meet today and will talk later. And for the first time, the roles are reversed. Peor finally succeeds in hurting Ern, and we see Ern's jealousy flare up. Snatching the phone is such a raw, impulsive act of possessiveness. But what's even more important is what Peor does after Ern leaves. She immediately gets off the phone with Wisnu. This proves to us, the audience, that the entire sweet-talking performance was a show put on exclusively for Ern. She has zero interest in Wisnu. He's just a weapon in her emotional war. As Ern leaves, she is seen crying outside the hospital. Peor's friends, Bo and Tan, approach Peor. Bo asks Peor if she went too far. Tan supports Peor. Bo, feeling sorry for Ern as a fellow woman, is told by Peor that it's Ern's fault for coming back. Bo then expresses concern that Ern might harm herself due to Peor's rudeness. Peor dismisses this, saying someone who loves themselves that much would never harm themselves, only others. This argument between the friends is so realistic. Bo represents empathy, seeing the situation from a fellow woman's perspective and recognizing pain when she sees it. Tan represents fierce loyalty, the friend who only remembers the past trauma and will defend her friend no matter what. But Peor's line, someone who loves themselves that much would never harm themselves, only others, is one of the most revealing and coldest lines she's ever said. She's not talking about Ern. She's projecting her own 7 years of pain, painting Ern as a selfish person who only thinks of herself, because that's the only way she can justify the agony she's been in. Bo and Tan confront Peor, stating she is a terrible liar and was clearly worried about Ern despite acting otherwise. Peor maintains she was only concerned for the patient who got hit by a car, not Ern, claiming Ern has been dead to her for a long time. Her friends sarcastically remark on how harsh that is. And here is the final pathetic lie. After being so transparently terrified for Ern, her only defense is to double down on the cruelty. The line, "Ern has been dead to me for a long time," is so brutal, but it's also incredibly weak. She says this after she just proved the exact opposite. Her friends see it, we see it, and most importantly, she knows it. This is the moment her carefully constructed armor has completely shattered, and she's just flailing, trying to piece it back together with the harshest words she can find. But it's too late. The truth is out. Ern is then seen outside the emergency center eating a banana. She soon begins to have trouble breathing and collapses. Rose informs Peor that Ern, the actress, has collapsed in the ER and had a shock. Peor, despite initially telling Rose not to meddle with other wards, rushes to the ER. She finds Ern in a very bad state and immediately starts to treat her. Ern's vital signs are noted. Blood pressure 90/50, pulse 100, oxygen saturation 95%. Peor orders atropine and IV fluids. When asked if she's the patient's relative, Ern's friend Susie confirms. She states that Ern ate a banana, leading Peor to suspect anaphylaxis due to a banana allergy. Peor quickly orders adrenaline, CPM, and DEXA. This is a massive turning point. We've moved beyond emotional warfare and into dangerous, physical self-sabotage. This isn't a game anymore. Ern is so desperate for Peor's attention and so terrified of losing her that she's willing to risk her own life. It's toxic, it's unhealthy, but in the world of high drama, it's the ultimate desperate plea. And look at Peor's reaction. All her previous instructions to stay away vanish. The moment she hears Ern is in trouble, she doesn't walk, she rushes. Her medical training and her personal fear merge into one, and she completely takes over. In this moment, she is not Dr. Falada, she is Ern's doctor. When Ern regains consciousness, she's happy to see Peor first. Peor angrily asks why Ern did something so stupid, knowing her banana allergy, implying she wanted to die. Ern explains she just wanted to see if Peor would care about her. Peor calls Ern selfish, pointing out that the ER is for real emergencies, and Ern is wasting valuable time that other patients need just for attention. She tells Ern to think about others for once. Ern admits she's selfish, but says she did it because she's afraid of losing Peor to Dr. Wisanu. This confrontation is so layered. Peor is 100% right on a logical level. What Ern did was incredibly selfish and put a strain on emergency resources. She's speaking from the rational perspective of a doctor, but Ern isn't operating on logic. She's operating on pure, desperate fear. Her confession that she was afraid of losing Peor to Wisanu is the raw, honest truth. She's essentially saying that my fear of losing you is so great that it eclipses everything else. It's a heartbreaking clash of head and heart. Peor then explicitly tells Ern, "You lost me a long time ago. I don't like women. I like men. Do you understand?" Peor then leaves the room and Ern cries heavily. This is the nuclear bomb of the entire series so far. Peor throws the exact same words that Ern used to destroy her 7 years ago right back in her face. This is not a statement about her sexuality. This is pure, calculated emotional warfare. She is using the words that caused her the most trauma as a weapon to inflict the maximum possible pain on Ern. It's her way of saying, now you finally know what it felt like for me. It is the most cruel and most powerful defense she has. Peor returns to her room and looks in the mirror, recalling her past. A flashback shows Peor suffering deeply after Ern left her. She drank heavily and was heartbroken, losing control of her emotions. She cried constantly, not understanding why Ern left her. Tan, her friend, visits her and finds her drinking. Peor tells Tan, "Ern left me. Is it because I'm not a man?" Tan tries to calm her down. Peor was so broken, she gave up on everything. Her future, studies, and even her family. Her life was destroyed. And now we finally understand the depth of the wound. This flashback recontextualizes everything. Peor's anger isn't just about a breakup. It's about a complete annihilation of her sense of self. Her question, "Is it because I'm not a man?" is utterly devastating. It's a moment of profound internalized homophobia, where she questions if her very identity as a woman who loves women is the reason she was rejected. This is a pain so many in the community have felt. The fear that your love is inherently less than. Her heartbreak wasn't just sadness, It was an identity crisis that nearly destroyed her entire life. Tan took her lecture notes, even attending classes for her, and he even switched his major from surgery to dermatology because Peor stopped attending her classes. Tan constantly tried to make her stop drinking and pull herself together, telling her she stank of alcohol. Peor was so desperate for alcohol, she acted like a child, and Tan sometimes drank with her to control her. He even carried her home when she was drunk. Tan tells Peor that her current state is not her true personality, reminding her of who she used to be. Peor asks him what she's supposed to be like given she was dumped. This flashback completely redefines Tan's character for us. He's not just the supportive best friend, he's her savior. He literally changed his entire career path, giving up surgery for dermatology to stay by her side and help her rebuild her life from the ashes. This explains why he is so fiercely protective of her now. He's not just trying to protect her from more heartache, he's trying to protect the person. In this context, makes his current animosity towards Ern completely understandable. Back in the present, Susie arrives at Ern's room with Ern's stuffed toy, which Ern can't sleep without. Susie is furious with Ern for eating bananas despite her allergy, emphasizing Ern's responsibilities to her production team. Ern apologizes and cries like a child. Susie tries to comfort her, telling her to stop crying or her eyes will swell. I love this scene because it shows us the real Ern, stripped of her celebrity persona. In public, she's confident and persistent, but here, with her manager, Susie, who is clearly a mother figure, she's just a vulnerable child who can't sleep without her toy. It reminds us that underneath her grand, sometimes reckless gestures, there's a deep-seated insecurity and a desperate need for comfort. Susie's anger isn't just professional, it's the frustration of a parent seeing their child act out self-destructively. Later, during lunch, Peor's friends discuss Ern's persistence. Tan supports Peor's anger, calling Ern's actions silly and a miracle she wasn't dead. Peor expresses her annoyance at Ern's persistence and her constant efforts to win her back. Notice Peor's choice of word here, annoyance. After everything we've seen, the jealousy, the panic at the hospital, the traumatic flashbacks, she reduces her emotions to simple annoyance. It's her last, flimsiest piece of emotional armor. She can't admit she's terrified, heartbroken, or even a little bit hopeful. Annoyed is the only safe word she has left to describe the emotional hurricane that Ern has unleashed in her life. It's a lie, and everyone, including herself, knows it. Then, Tan decides to meet Ern privately to talk about the situation. He tells Ern he didn't want to get involved, but had to as Ladada's close friend. He asks Ern to leave Ladada alone, stating Ladada has been hurt enough. Ern claims she didn't mean to hurt Ladada and was hurt herself. Tan refutes this, emphasizing that Ern's hurt was nothing compared to Ladada's. And here comes the guardian of Peor's heart, Tan. He is not a villain in the story, he is a protector. From his perspective, he is the one who saw Peor at rock bottom, who literally rebuilt her life alongside her. When he says Ern's hurt was nothing compared to Ladada's, he's not just being cruel, he's speaking as the primary witness to the devastation. He has appointed himself the gatekeeper to Peor's healing, and he sees Ern as a threat to years of painstaking recovery. He reiterates that Ern's departure killed Ladada, making her give up on everything. Tan warns Ern that Ladada's wound is almost healed, and if she gets hurt again, she might not survive. He tells Ern that her current actions are making Ladada uncomfortable, and that if it were up to him, Ern wouldn't be allowed in the hospital. Ern tries to explain her reasons for breaking up, but Tan refuses to listen, stating her reasons don't matter, only that she's hurting Ladada matters. This is one of the most powerful and realistic conflicts in the entire series. Tan's line, "Your reasons don't matter," is absolutely pivotal. He is embodying the principle of impact over intent. To him, it doesn't matter why Ern broke Peor's heart, it only matters that she did. He's refusing to even consider her perspective because he believes the damage she caused was so absolute that no reason could ever justify it. This is a stalemate born from trauma, where one person is desperate to explain their intent and the other can only see the devastating impact. Ern then asks for one last chance, promising to heal Ladada completely. This right here is Ern's ultimate countermove. Tan has just described Peor's heart as an almost healed wound. So what does Ern do? She doesn't just ask for another chance at a relationship, she positions herself as the surgeon. She promises to heal Ladada completely. It's an incredibly bold claim. She's essentially saying, I am the one who caused this wound, therefore I am the only one with the specific knowledge to fix it. She is turning her greatest sin into her greatest asset, framing her return not as a selfish desire, but as a necessary final step in Peor's recovery. The question is no longer, will they get back together? But will Peor let the person who broke her be the one to make her whole? The scene shifts to Peor thinking about whether to visit Ern. She decides to go and even gets ready, but upon arriving at Ern's room, she hesitates again. She eventually enters and approaches Ern saying, "You naughty girl, you always make me worried. You always create problems." She kisses Ern on the forehead. Suddenly, Ern wakes up and kisses Peor. Peor melts and doesn't resist. Susie then calls out to Peor from behind, asking why she's there. Peor, startled, says she got the wrong room and leaves. It is then revealed by the YouTube explainer that this entire interaction, Peor's visit and the kiss, was a dream. The dream, analyzing the subconscious. This dream sequence is the most honest moment we've had from Peor in the entire series. When our conscious minds are asleep, our true feelings come out to play. And what are Peor's true feelings? Not anger, not hatred, but tender, loving exasperation. "You naughty girl, you always make me worried." That is the language of profound affection. The kiss she initiates is her heart's truest desire, and Ern reciprocating it is her ultimate fantasy. A world where their love is simple and mutual. This dream isn't a random thought, it's a window directly into her soul, proving that underneath all the armor, she is still desperately in love with Ern. Peor, in her office, blushes recalling the dream, but then becomes serious as she remembers seeing Ern with Engfah. Ern, meanwhile, is waiting at the gate hoping Peor will come to visit her, unaware that Peor had come and left. Ern then recalls her conversation with Tan, where she asked for one last chance to heal Peor's heart. Tragic irony and the theme. The whiplash Peor feels here is so real. She wakes up with the warmth of the dream, but her conscious mind immediately throws up its favorite defense, the image of Ern and Angfa. This is the eternal battle inside her. And the tragic irony of Ern waiting at the gate, completely unaware that Peor was just there, it perfectly encapsulates our series theme, the space between us. It's not just an emotional space, it's a physical space created by fear, hesitation, and missed moments. The next day, Ern is being discharged from the hospital. Engfah visits her. As they are leaving, carrying Ing's belongings, Peor sees them, Ern and Ang folding hands. When Ern sees Peor, she quickly lets go of Engfah's hand. Engfah then approaches Peor and adds, "We could meet for other reasons than getting sick," implying a future encounter. Peor curtly replies, "I don't think so." The public confrontation. This is a masterclass in nonverbal storytelling. Ern immediately dropping Engfah's hand the second she sees Peor tells us everything. Her focus, her priority, her entire world in that moment is Peor. But Engfah is a completely different player. Her line, "We could meet for other reasons," is not a friendly suggestion. It's a power move. It's a direct challenge thrown at Peor's feet. And Peor's clipped, "I don't think so," isn't a sign of strength. It's a brittle, panicked defense against a rival she now perceives as very real. Susie then receives a call for a joint event involving Ern and Angfa. She mentions a video of Ern and Angfa has gone viral and is trending as Ang and Ern. Susie excitedly announces that Ang and Ern are a new ship. Angfa then pointedly tells Ern, knowing Peor is listening, that while they are a ship now, they could become a real couple in the future. This statement is an indirect challenge to Peor, signaling a world war or catfight for Ern between Engfah and Peor. Ern, caught in the middle, seems unsure what to do. If Engfah's previous comment was a challenge, this is an open declaration of war. She weaponizes the public ship and uses it to fire a direct shot at Peor. She knows Peor is listening, and she's essentially saying, "The public wants this, I want this. If you don't step up and claim what's yours, I will." This is the ultimate put up or shut up moment. Engfah isn't just a rival for Ern's affection, she's a rival for the public narrative, and she just put Peor on a timer. The episode concludes with Peor getting heavily drunk at a bar, alone. Susie finds her and asks why she got so drunk. And here is the devastating final scene. Where did we see Peor when she was at her absolute lowest after Ern left her 7 years ago? Drunk at a bar. Her getting drunk now is not just a reaction, it's a regression. She has been pushed back to that same place of rock-bottom despair. She's not drinking because she's angry, she's drinking because she is terrified of history repeating. The wall is down, and all that's left is the raw, unfiltered pain.